Taylor Hayes had tried everything, every ounce of patience, every thread of dignity, every piece of her heart. She had held on to hope, clung to belief, that Rich Forrester would finally see her, choose her, not out of guilt or obligation, but out of real, lasting love. And for a time, it seemed like that hope was justified. Their reunion had felt real, grounding, a return to something honest after years of chaos. But once again, Ridge made his choice. And once again, it wasn't Taylor. He chose Brooke. Again. For Taylor, this time broke something. Not just the heartache, it was deeper than that. It was the realization that the cycle would never end. She would never win. Not against Brooke. No matter how many times Ridge left, no matter how many promises he made, he always ended up right back in Brooke's arms. And this time, Taylor didn't just feel rejected. She felt humiliated. Empty. She walked away from Ridge without a word, her face a mask of grace. But inside, something twisted and snapped. The days that followed were a blur. Taylor buried herself in work, in her children, in anything to keep from feeling the sharp sting of betrayal. But it wasn't enough. Her pain turned into something darker, resentment. And then, resolve. One night, alone in her house with silence pressing in like a vice, Taylor made a decision that no one could have predicted, not even herself. She reached out to Sheila Carter. Sheila, once her sworn enemy, once the embodiment of everything Taylor stood against. But now, in Taylor's eyes, she was something else. She was someone who knew what it was like to be hated, to be cast aside. And most of all, she was someone who hated Brooke Logan almost as much as Taylor did. Their meeting was clandestine. A quiet rendezvous in a secluded cafe outside of Los Angeles. Sheila's eyes narrowed with suspicion as Taylor slid into the booth. "I must be dreaming," she said with a half-laugh. "Dr. Hayes, breaking bread with the devil?" Taylor didn't flinch. "I'm not here to make peace," she said. "I'm here to make a deal." Sheila leaned in. "I'm listening." "I want Brooke out," Taylor said. "Gone. Ruined. Whatever it takes." Sheila studied her, waiting for the punchline. But there wasn't one. Taylor was serious. Her voice was steel. Her eyes, usually filled with compassion, were cold. "What do you want from me?" Sheila asked, intrigued now. "I know you have dirt," Taylor said. "You've been watching her. Waiting. Whatever you have, whatever skeletons are buried, I want them out." Sheila smiled, slow and venomous. "You have no idea what you're starting." What followed was a slow, methodical unraveling. Sheila didn't act rashly. She planned. Calculated. She dug deep into the past and resurfaced secrets that Brooke had worked for years to bury. Affairs, lies, manipulations. Things the public had forgotten, things even Ridge didn't know. Sheila was surgical. She fed the information through anonymous tips to bloggers, to gossip sites, to journalists with just enough proof to make it stick, but not enough to tie it to her. The first story hit the tabloids like a lightning bolt. Brooke Logan's forgotten affair, a timeline of scandal and betrayal. Then came another, Logan lies, how Brooke manipulated her way to the top of Forrester. Within days, it spread to the mainstream media. Fashion outlets, talk shows, social media, all ablaze with headlines painting Brooke not as the glamorous matriarch of Forrester Creations, but as a scheming, predatory opportunist. Brooke was blindsided. She thought it was just another round of gossip, but then the stories kept coming, more specific, more personal. A leaked video from a drunken night decades ago. Emails supposedly deleted, exposing private manipulations in the Forrester boardroom. Private photos from past relationships, suddenly public. Her phone wouldn't stop ringing. Her PR team was overwhelmed. Ridge tried to shield her, to defend her in public and private, but the damage was done. The company's image took a hit. Clients pulled out of campaigns. Sponsors questioned their association with the brand. Investors panicked. And through it all, Brooke asked the same question. Who would do this to me? It didn't take long for people to start pointing fingers. Steffi suspected Bill Spencer at first. Thomas thought maybe Quinn, but none of them had the motive or the reach to pull this off so precisely. Hope tried to rally behind her mother, but even she couldn't deny the magnitude of the fallout. Liam warned her to brace for worse. Behind the scenes, Taylor and Sheila met again, watching the chaos unfold like spectators at a play. She's unraveling, Sheila said. Just like we planned. Taylor nodded, though she felt a flicker of guilt. It's not enough, she said. I want her exposed completely. Not just to the public. To Ridge. I want him to know exactly what he chose over me. Sheila smirked. That can be arranged. The next revelation was devastating. An old medical report, long buried, suggesting Brooke once falsified a paternity test to manipulate Ridge during their early years together. The report, complete with doctored signatures and timelines, surfaced in a national expose. Ridge was shattered. He confronted Brooke, demanding answers. She denied it at first, but when pressed, she cracked. Tears, excuses, deflections, but Ridge heard none of it. The trust they had rebuilt disintegrated in an instant. Steffi was furious, not just at Brooke, but at her father. You chose this over Mom, she spat. You threw everything away for her? Taylor remained quiet publicly, offering no comment when approached by the press. But privately, she watched the collapse with cold satisfaction. Ridge, now isolated, began reaching out to Taylor again, at first for clarity, then for comfort. She kept him at a distance, playing the long game. Sheila warned her to be careful. He'll come back, she said. They always do. And then he'll leave again. Taylor didn't care. She wasn't doing this for love anymore. She was doing it for justice. Or what she told herself was justice. But as the dust began to settle, whispers started circulating. People were beginning to suspect the attacks weren't random. The timing was too perfect. The details too precise. Ridge, always the detective when it came to family drama, began digging. And slowly, he uncovered breadcrumbs, an email here, a trace IP address there. Enough to raise red flags. Then, one night, he confronted Taylor. Tell me you had nothing to do with this, he said. Look me in the eye and say you didn't. Taylor hesitated. Just long enough. Ridge's face fell. My God. You did. Taylor didn't apologize. You made your choice. Now live with it. It was the end of any illusion. Ridge walked out, stunned. And now Taylor stood alone. She had destroyed Brooke, but at a cost. She had lost Ridge for good. And worse, the secret of her alliance with Sheila didn't stay secret for long. Once word got out, the backlash was immediate. The Forresters turned on her. Steffi, heartbroken, couldn't believe her mother would partner with the woman who had nearly killed her. Thomas was torn between anger and disbelief. Hope called it treachery. Even Eric, from his hospital bed, expressed profound disappointment. Taylor became a pariah overnight. Her license came under review. Her reputation in shreds. Her relationship with her children fractured. Sheila, of course, disappeared the moment things got ugly. In the end, Brooke survived. Scarred, shaken, but still standing. She reclaimed her place in the company, with support from an unlikely coalition of Logan loyalists, media allies, and business partners who believed in redemption. And while Ridge didn't go back to her immediately, he began to see her through a new lens, not as perfect, but as someone who had endured a storm and refused to break. Taylor, once the moral compass, now found herself cast in the shadows. She had crossed a line she could never uncross. The war she started had burned everything: Brooke's image, Ridge's trust, her own legacy. And it wasn't over. Not yet. Because Sheila had one more card to play. And Taylor's name was written all over it.